Hey, I'm Rob for JTRPodcast.com, and at Essen Spiel 2018 I played Passing Through Petra. And in this game you play a market trader trading your wares to spread influence, and everyone has a player board with cubes on and random trader tiles at the top, which is your settlement, and at the bottom, which is your market. And you have this 3x3 grid with the 4 sections on either side, and on your turn you move one orthogonal space and take the action you move towards. So if you're at the end of the row, like my yellow guy is here next to the plaza, I need to take an action either the other way, in this case to the market, before the plaza action can be taken again by me. And each time you move, you're going to take one of the 4 actions, and let's go through them now. So first up we have the plaza. Take 2 trader tiles from the plaza. That's the 6 tiles to the left of the sick. The sick is that big thing down the middle with the big plastic channel. We'll get to that shortly. And the 2 tiles you've taken, you push them to the left of the market on your player board, which is going to push 2 off to the right of your player board, which you then move from your market at the bottom up to the settlement on the top, and you put them in rows of their different colours. The sick is the same as the plaza, but you take 1 tile from anywhere in the sick between the plastic walls, as I said, and then the caravan of merchants in the sick is pushed from the right, so there's no gaps in the sick at all. In the market you trade between your merchants and your settlers, so you must place a worker under the settlers that you choose in order to close that particular market of that colour. Then you multiply any number of settlers by the number of merchants with the corresponding trading symbol. And each player board is different, so each settler at the top of your board is going to demand a different merchant of a different colour from the bottom of your board, depending which player board you were dealt out at the beginning of the game. Then you find the progress track that matches the colour of the settler you use. You move that many spaces on that track, and you can spend camels to move extra spaces. And then you gain a bonus when passing a bonus space, or place an influence, which is one of your cubes, when passing a cube on that board. And then you return your used settlers to the bag. And then finally a village space. You return at least 1 worker from your board, which is going to reopen those markets. And then you take a number of villager cards, depending on how many cubes you returned. After you take an action, you can complete an influence card from your hand if you complete the criteria, which takes a cube from your board again. Finally, if the caravan in the sick is above the refill line, refill it with tiles from the bag. And once somebody places their 9th cube, they win the game, and that is it. And I like the movement of the worker. If you move it upwards, you're going to take the action at the top. If you move it down, you're going to take the action at the bottom. If you've moved it down right to the bottom, you can't take that action again, so you go back up. So it forces you to sort of plan and make sure you take different actions and make sure you have a reason to take those actions well in order to plan your turns and get the most out of them. I like the plastic walls on the board. They're a bit overproduced. They could have just used a cardboard like in games like Coal Baron, where if you've got the cardboard elevator shaft that you use for collecting coal, they could have done that, but they've got these nice plastic walls which look really cool, and that's all good fun. You can push the tokens up them and they don't slide and bang around all over the place, which is nice. The rest of the game though is a bit meh. I mean, you're just doing things for doing things' sake, really, and it is a bit random because, as you can see above my player board here, I've got 3 tokens in my settlement that are that greeny, cyany colour, and they are demanding the blue merchants. Now, I couldn't get hold of any blue merchants for me to take that action with those and get anything out of them. They were just stuck there for the entire game. The person to my left was the same. They needed blue merchants. They had a lot of whatever colour they needed above their player board. They couldn't get them either, whereas a player across the table from us, they managed to get what they needed. They got a lot of one colour and what they needed, and a lot of another colour and a lot of what they needed as well, because they were available. Because they were available in the plaza, so they could pick up 2, and then they could take 1 out the sick. But because there was no blue tiles out in the middle of that board, we couldn't take advantage of our settlement, and it was just a bit weird. I know that we only played a demo of up to placing 3 cubes, and you're supposed to place 9 to win the game, so maybe it would balance itself out as the game goes on, because as they've traded in their settlers to complete those actions to place the cubes, then those settlers are going to go away and they're going to have to rebuild again. So maybe we would have caught up, but I think by the time we'd have caught up with what we needed in order to place cubes out on the board, they would have also had a chance to build up. So they've got their first wave, we get our first wave, then they get their second wave of placing cubes, which again will put them ahead. And I think it was a bit weird. They also had a thing with cards that I wasn't really paying attention to because I sort of lost interest about 3/4 of the way through the demo. They had a really good combo going on. I don't know what it was. It was so good, in fact, they checked to make sure. They said, this can't be right, this can't be in the rules, this is too powerful. and they even checked the rules with somebody else there, and they said no, that's how it is, and they won easily. I don't know what the combo was, but it was a certain combination of cards that seemed overpowered according to them, but was perfectly legal within the rules. But yeah, this is a rare miss for me for Renegade games. They're usually very good. I don't like this one at all, really, and I probably won't play it again. I won't give it another chance, because I feel it deserves it, to be honest. I think I've played enough. It's got a lot of good ideas. As I said, I love the action movement thing. I love the plastic barriers where you're sort of pushing the tokens through and then filling them up from the back once it reaches a line. That was very clever, but the rest of it for me, not so good. So that was Passing Through Petra. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTRPodcast and find the blog and podcast at JTRPodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.